And we can get started. I did see a Sarah FFL on Cody's side, so I am assuming this will be some Giga Wool 7 variant. And I see 2 4-color walls on Zach's side, so 4-color wall, a 4-color rate. Well, that could be anything. It could be Mono Earth. Could also be Light Wool 7. So players have resolved their mulligans. And I'm assuming they're just waiting for an official let's get started. Here we go. Official round 1 start of the San Diego Materia Cup 2024 Tabletop Tavern. Welcome. I am your host, Rudros. Thank you for joining us. And given that Zach drew a card, I'm guessing he's going to start first. So we're going to Raijin, mill 2 cards as he enters the field. Do not hit a Fujin to put onto the field. And just pass. Oh, wow. That's that cannot be the ideal start. I know he had a Sid Randall. I think I saw Sid Randall in hand. I almost feel like maybe you'd rather put that out. Granted, you don't really know what your opponent's on, so you'd hate for it to walk right into something that dies. But there is a whatever job that is at the red mage. So we're gonna reveal until we hit. I'm assuming it's gonna be 4-color wall. Yep. So it is 7-cost wall. And I believe the 4-color wall is the only thing that will hit off of this. As I assume it's searching for earth, maybe wind. I don't remember the exact colors it's looking for, but usually in these lists, the only thing it's trying to find is, 4-color Warrior of Light. So we now have an Ultimate Shield online if we have a Wool Light 7 in hand. Give it to our opponent to... I don't actually know. Do you? I remember. I think you shuffle those and you put them on the bottom. And are we going to keep going further? Or are we just going to pass? Like we're trying to go. Oh, are we going in on Sarah? Okay, Sarah FFL. Yep. So now we'll have 2 backups. Not normally what you see in a Wool 7 deck. Presumably going to get 1 light wool. Are we going to get 2? Nope. We opt to get a second 4-color Warrior of Light, as we will now have 2 ultimate shields online. For extra protection. Pass it to our opponent to cut. And next turn, we will be ready to fire that off, spin the wheel, and see what we get. Now, if Zach does have Sid Randall in hand, I wasn't sure if I saw that or not, but if he does, surely that's got to come down. Oh, no, it just goes into Fujin, mill 2. We do hit Cypher. Would have been preferred if that's reversed. He does have Sid Randall. Oh my gosh, I think he has 3 4-color walls in hand. So he can't even use the Sid Randall. Oh my goodness. If I saw his hand correctly, that's terrible. Yeah, I see the Sid Randall in the corner, and I thought I might have seen 3 4-color walls. Oh my goodness, what a brick. You actually have the answer to this 7 wall, and you can't even cast it. Talk about feels bad. So Cody is naturally going to play the Wool 7. I seriously doubt we have any response to this. Unless we have an Amaterasu I didn't see. Yep, says go for it. Vincent, that's a good hit. Cypher's a good hit. Lena's a good hit. And Gilgamesh, nice. 3 really good choices there. Or 4, technically. Vincent doesn't do much here. There's no backups. So probably, how many colors do we have? We have at least 4. I think we have 6 colors for the Gilgamesh, so he would instantly be online with the Dull Freeze. Cypher obviously gets us back something from our break zone. I'm not sure if we have an 8 forward in there or not. Possibly that might be a Dia underneath one of the cards. We'll go with the Gilgamesh. And then Lena, will we have enough cards for Lena? Lena would have water, ice, lightning, and light. Lena would give it a sacrifice as well as a card draw. Yep, so we go for Gilgamesh and Cypher. Gilgamesh has no entry effect. Cypher will mill the top 2 cards of our deck when it enters. Hit an Irvine, which we can definitely grab that. There is a Dia in there. Okay, we did see that correctly. And of course, we have Ultimate Shield in hand to protect these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we have exactly 10. So if Cypher were to have haste, he would be able to break a forward. Gilgamesh, of course, going to attack and Dull Freeze, hit a Renoa back up, and pass to our opponent. Cody sitting in a very good spot right now, and Zach looking for some kind of action where he can do something. Yeah, he did have that Sid Randall in hand. So pitches, is that Diana? I think it was Diana and a 4-color wall. Going to search out our own 7-cost wall. Do we have enough left in hand to cast it? I'm not sure if we do or not. If he does, he might want to just try to jam it out. It's hard, like, because even if you hit something that could potentially freeze the Cypher, he can obviously just counter with Ultimate Shield. Now, if you had your own Ultimate Shield, when the Cypher swings in, you could protect yourself from getting broken. Or maybe you've just got to take the hit. 2, 3. I don't think he's got enough. I think he's going to have to wait a turn. Yeah, so it is a Wall 7 mirror match, but not when Zach opens the way he did. This is looking like it's going to go very south for him very quickly. Cypher can take out any of these forwards. You probably take out Fujin, I guess. Maybe Raijin. Maybe just in case your opponent plays a Cypher, you don't want it to get haste automatically. So maybe the Raijin makes more sense. You probably Dull Freeze the backup with the Gilgamesh. Make that Wool 7 even more expensive when it comes down. Here comes Adia. Adia on entry will let us search out a category 8, I believe it's forward, from our deck, add it to our hand. And she has an action ability. You can put the top 2 cards of your deck into the break zone, and then you'll choose a forward, reduce its power by 4,000. However, if you have 10 or more cards in the break zone when it resolves, you will instead reduce its power by 8,000. So this Adia is just pure spot removal here. We can use it to clean off Fujin or Raijin, and then have Cypher break the other one, which is not a very nice thing to do if you're the leader of the disciplinary committee like Cypher is. Fujin and Raijin, they're supposed to work with you, you know? But Cypher says, no, I'm working with the sorceress now. Go ahead and mill 2. Miss Fujin is gone. And Cypher is presumably going to clean the clock of Mr. Raijin. Gotta remind him who the boss is. You cannot start your own disciplinary committee without me. Cypher goes ahead and knocks out Raijin, and hits a mirror image of himself into damage. We'll keep the Arya Dull Frozen from Gilgamesh. There is a Fujin. These decks aren't known for many EX bursts, so I doubt Zach's going to get much help there. And Raijin, wow, Fujin Raijin just sitting on the top. He just hit the entire disciplinary committee into damage. Cypher, Fujin, Raijin. This Cypher on Cody's side is taking no prisoners. Holy moly. We do pitch another 4-color wall, for which, oh my gosh, I can't believe Zach had all 3 at the start. So we hit Gilgamesh is good, Cypher's good, Irvine's good, Renoa could go get us Adia. Probably not what we want here. We really need some forwards that are going to either remove or hold down some of Cody's cards, which of course he has Ultimate Shield in hand, so I don't know how effective that will be, but opts to go for Irvine and Gilgamesh. Irvine, of course, will remove 2 cards from the break zone. We picked Sid Randall, and I'm not sure what that other one was. So Irvine is now a 9k attacker with first strike and haste. I mean, Irvine can go in and get a single hit, but I don't know what that does for you. And with the removal Cody has on board, like Zach just might be dead. He needs that. I think he's got Ultimate Shield in hand, so he can at least prevent one thing from going off. So we go in with Gilgamesh. I'm assuming we have at least 5 colors in the break zone. Is he opting to hit a backup? Ugh. I almost feel like you got to try one of the forwards just to try to burn the shield out. And if you're going to hit a backup, surely you would hit the Sarah as well, right? Because that has an action ability you can use to activate a forward, and it requires itself to dull. So we're seeing some card pointing, possibly discussing power values and field effects. I don't know if he actually targeted the red mage. I just saw Cody like move his hand on it, so that made me think he was. But obviously we can't hear them. Okay, he does. No, okay, we're using the Sarah. So we're using the Sarah to activate the wall, which can just block because Gilgamesh will be 8k first strike, but not enough to get over a big wall 7. Yep. And looks like that's going to resolve. Gilgamesh will die. We can send in Irvine. Irvine can remove another 2 characters from our opponent's break zone. Technically, it can remove any card, but I don't think there's any summons in there. Which gives Irvine another 2,000 power first strike and haste again. So we'll take a point of damage. It's the Onion Knight. And Zach now has a single blocker, a 9k blocker, and an ultimate shield. So he can, I mean, he can stop the Ultimecia, or sorry, the Idea power reduction. He can stop the Dull Freeze. He can stop the block or the break on Cypher, but it's still a bunch of bodies coming in at you. So, I mean, he might survive this turn, but surely he's going to lose his wall 7. And then he's going to have a very empty hand and empty board. He needs some kind of, he needs that Shantoto limit break, and I don't think he's going to be able to cast it in this deck. Oh, okay, never mind. We have another haster, so this is probably going to be game right here. Irvine will remove 2 things from the break zone. 2 of those 4-color walls. Give himself 9,000 or 2,000 power extra, haste and first strike. Attempt to break the Warrior of Light. You gotta do it. Yep, there's it. Man, he had all 4-color walls to start. Oof. Ouch. Zach, I feel for you, sir. So we can do the Adia on top. So this Warrior of Light's going to go to a 1,000 power. So, I mean, it can block a point of damage, but we have more than enough on Cody's side to just run this down. Yep. Has to block anyway. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. And really, you can just do this in any order you want. Irvine's haste is already locked in, unless there's like a surprise Kuchulain in Zach's deck. But you don't even need the Irvine to attack at this point. Yep, we'll Dull Freeze the backup. Says no, not. Oh, I'm not sure what he was saying there, but it shouldn't matter. Oh, actually, we do hit a bonus burst. It's Arya. Not that that's going to help us at this point as we hit a wool. I mean, we can get a light wool, but unless Cody just decides to stop attacking, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. And then here comes Irvine. Going to remove 2 more Warriors of Light. And take our 6 point of damage. And Wool 7 will finish it off. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So very quick game, really easy. Yeah, I think Zach's just sitting there being like, wow, he had to, his turn 1 was play Fujin pass. That's not ideal. You know, if you ever look up deck techs or people talking about this deck, I don't think I've seen one where they're like, okay, so what you want to do turn 1, you put out your Fujin, you pass. Now you're set on easy street. Yeah, that was a rough one for Zach. Easy one for Cody. Just gets to breeze right through that and got good hits off the Wool 7 too. And Zach had some decent hits off of his Wool 7, but gosh, he was just so far behind by the time he got there. So there's a quick Giga Wall versus Giga Wall, and that is going to do it for round 1. Let's see if we can't get any reports from other tables. Otherwise, we might just have to be a little bit patient and see what pops up next. 100% taco bands. Yep. You got a band, you're getting some tacos. Feel free to send those my way in St. Louis. They'll probably be very, very unedible by the time they get here. All right. So looks like we have Lyndon versus Ryan. And we are pitching a Leo for. Wait, is that it? Did we just pitch Leo and pass? Oof. Oh, man. Okay, do not sit on the right side of the stream today, apparently. That is the cursed side for bad starts. Is this Wall 7? I'm assuming this is Wall 7 given the Cyan and the Lena that we just saw. There is Amaterasu, so we do have some summons in this list as well. There's our 4-color wall. And there's 7-color wall. We are ready to just go off. So I see Arc, and we drew Arc and Titan for turn. Oh, man. We're going to play a Leo, and are we going to pass? Oh, boy. This is, yeah, this is not the start you wanted to see. Lyndon's got to be feeling pretty good on his side. Like, oh, sweet. Probably isn't running an Amaterasu to cancel this Wool 7. Looks like we're willing to give up Aria. Oh, wow. We have multiple 4-color wolves. Cyan and Zeromus. Would have been happy to hit a Zeromus. Not that I guess it really matters against the Leo. So Irvine, Onion Knight, Wool 7, Axstar. So we got a lot of hits. Everything but the Wool 7 can be played to the field. Axstar, Irvine definitely for sure. That'll give us haste. It'll remove the break zone. Onion Knight, I mean, I guess we can just bounce the Leo back to the hand. Yeah. The Vincent, obviously, there's no backups to freeze, and Axstar would freeze our own Wool 9. So that goes in, hits a 4-color wool into damage. And what do we draw for turn? We did get a backup finally. We've got a Claris and an Ingus. Ingus is going to cost us a full 6 currently until we get a backup online. I'm assuming we want to go in on that Claris. Otherwise, you could try to pull something out of your limit break zone, which we didn't see any of those last match. Going to go in on the Claris. We'll search us out a King. Probably not looking for Leo. I'm assuming we have Epitaph or there's another Earth King backup, isn't there? Kolka, that's the one. Yep. Say Kolka and Epitaph are usually the two big ones. It is the 2-cost version of Kolka, not the 4-cost Searcher version. We're just going to go ahead and slap that down, and do we have something to discard? Yes. We're going to try to take out Irvine. Do we protect it with an ultimate shield? Why, yes we do. Wool 7 steps in front and just says, no. Blocks it. So we have Zeromus in hand. I don't know if we have the proper CP to play it. Looks like we also have a backup. We've got a Kuchelane. We could go in on couple different ideas here. Or we pitch. Looked like he was about to throw out 7. I was like, whoa, what are you going to play? So we'll go ahead and remove probably the summons for sure. Actually goes for the characters. Interesting. And there's a bonus burst, and that's why we did it, because he says, hey, if you hit Kusith, it's not going to work. There's a Shadow Lord. There's Shantoto. Oh, man. 2 board wipes. Ryan would have absolutely loved to have seen. And, yeah, Lyndon just holds on to his hand. Says, nope, you need to answer my board. There's a Genova Synthesis, although that's not going to help us if our hand is empty. We do have an Une as well. Okay, we are hitting the limit break. I'm assuming we're going to go for Shantoto. Yep. Doesn't matter if Shantoto goes into damage when you've always got one on demand, and we're going to pay a full 9. Is there an Amaterasu to cancel this? There is not. But we're considering something. What? Huh. I mean, he could have Kuchelane. Maybe he was trying to Kuchelane dig for the Amaterasu. As we can't just instantly reload on a Wool 7. Onion Knight isn't terrible here, as it'll bounce the Shantoto, essentially just killing her, since she's a limit break card, and that entire limit break deck is gone already too. Yeah, that's game. Can play this Ingus. Okay, now we're starting to get into our backups. There's a Tyro. So we play the Miner. Miner allows us to get 1 backup off of the 5 revealed, add it to our hand. We go for the Shantoto. So if our opponent does load up with a bunch of forwards again, we have the Toto to counter it. Double Sarah in hand. That's not very good. We also have Larsa. We have the Samurai. I mean, Lyndon could take a second here to just also build his own backups. Without an Amaterasu, any more forwards you put down, you're probably just going to run into Shantoto. And attack for damage. And there's an arc. 1 less arc to worry about. Are we going in on the Larsa, I'm assuming? Yeah. So Sarah FFL has seen herself in all her forms. All 3 copies are now either on the field or in the break zone. Larsa can search out a forward of 4 or more, so you could just go get Wool 7 Part 2. That feels pretty good. Probably don't need to jam it out this turn, especially since if you have anything with haste, you won't be able to do much with it, and that Toto's sitting in Ryan's hand. So I'm assuming we're just going to wait a turn and bring it out next turn. Oh, he's tempted. I could see that. I was like, oh, do you want to jam this out? No. So there is more backups. Did we draw into a second Toto? I think we draw. I can't tell what that backup was. Was that Epitaph? So I know we have Toto and Arc in hand. You do not want to cast this Arc for 9. That's not going to feel good. We are just. Oh wow, we're just gonna Toto on the Onion Knight. I mean, it gets our colors online. Well, colors in the sense that I don't know, man. And you had Epitaph. Like, granted, we've seen so many Leos. Maybe Epitaph doesn't have a target anymore. I don't know. Like, this Wall 7's coming down. I guess he felt like he had nothing better to do. He couldn't access his limit break zone. He'd already used all that. Here comes Wall 7. What we hit this time? Spin the wheel. Doodly doodly doodly. Ding 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 ding. Only one so far. Oh, he's still. Ooh, is this lethal? Is this if that and that Gilgamesh should have haste? I think this. I mean, and each Dola is going to take a point of damage. Yep, take a point of damage, and then Ryan's just waiting to see who attacks first. Who do you attack with? Oh yeah, we ultimate shield to start just in case. We do hit a bonus burst. Tyrone, it doesn't matter. Game's over. Holy moly, that was quick. Wow. My goodness, what a great hit from that Wool 7 for Linden. Just yeah, 2 hasters. All right, let's finish this right here and now. So the Shantoto didn't end up mattering because even if he'd saved it, he was just going to be dead on the next turn. Terrible start for Ryan, just like it was Zach the round before. Folks, if you're on stream, do not sit on that right side because both the right side sitters are 0 for 2 right now for starting hands. Like, my goodness. Round 1, we saw just the Fujin pass, and round 2, we saw discard pass. Okay, looks like we've got Mike Powell versus Christopher Neal. I am robotic. Pew, 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 pew. Mike Powell, I'm going to guess, is on his Warrior of Light list. And what is Mr. Neal going to be on? Let's find out. Looks like Mr. Neal is going to be on also Warrior of Light, but not. This is the 7 cost Giga Wall. Seeing a Giga Wall every round so far. Thank you for the deck list, gentlemen. All right, so both using 4-color wall, of course. We will see who is the superior one. I did catch a brief glimpse of that robot sound. Mr. Powell, of course, already a winner of one of the Materia Cups. Last time I saw this man on stream, I was casting him in Florida. Now here he returns to try to take it back in San Diego. Looks like he rolled a 3, which should be pretty good for Chris. Yep, Chris rolled either an 8 or a 10 there. And can Mike break the curse of the opening brick from sitting on the right? Surely by now, right? Or his 3rd time the charm. All right, looks like Chris is getting to go first. We will start with our Sarah FFL. Getting rid of an Onion Knight. 2nd Onion Knight? Yeah, 2 Onion Knights. How about a 3rd one? Just make it all onions. Send her away in tears. And Cyan, of course, going to search out the classic 7 cost wool light, as well as a 4-color wool. A tale as old as Opus 21 since the combination came around. All right, I do see a backup in Mike's hand, so this is a much better start than the last 2 competitors on that side had. Looks like we might match our own Sarah FFL. I think that's King Tycoon back there as well. We also have Zidane. We've seen him go in on the early Zidane before. Nope, decides to do his own Sarah FFL. And what do you search now? Here on this side of the table, it's not always as concrete. You don't have the same search you're always having with the 7 cost wool. Of course, he does get a 4-color wool. And are we going for Refia? Far too early for Arc. Unless we just want to pitch it for win CP. Yep, Refia and 4-color wool. We could pitch that for King Tycoon. I'm assuming we're not, given how thoroughly we're shuffling our deck. I'm assuming we're just going to pass. And yep, on to our opponent. So Chris, we know 7 cost wall is coming down this turn. Mike, no Amaterasu in hand, so this should resolve. Unless there's some hidden surprise we just can't see there. The old the old limit break Amaterasu that hasn't come out yet. God, could you imagine if they put a card like that in limit break? Get rid of a Shantoto, a Gilgamesh, and what's our third choice? Don't want to give up the 4-color wall. We giving up the Y'shtola? He doesn't want to do it. Nope, give up Vincent. And what are we going to hit? Gilgamesh, okay. Light Wall, Cyan, a Scholar, and a Samurai. Okay. Oh, not amazing. The Gilgamesh is online for sure. The backups aren't terrible. You'll draw a card, you'll get a crystal. You probably don't want Cyan here, because he's just not going to do much without crystal support. So do you want the fire backup or do you want the ice backup? I don't know the full construction of his deck, so I'm not sure if there's one element he would favor over the other. Obviously, fire gives you easier access to something like Amaterasu. Ice will give you things like Zeramis. Have a nice, beautiful full art crystal card. We'll represent the Samurai Crystal, and we'll draw for turn, or we'll draw, sorry, for the Samurai effect. And Gilgamesh is going to come in. Do we have enough to freeze that Sarah? Hit a 4-color wall into damage. No, we didn't have enough to freeze the Sarah. What do we have in there? Vincent and the Onion Knights are 4. Yeah, I guess he didn't have enough colors. Oh, that could have been really nice, because, yeah, we would have cut off the curve of this King Tycoon. We were considering paying a lot there. I was like, what are we doing? Going on a Toto? King Tycoon. Going to search out likely Lena. Yep, there we are. And do we play Lena down? That's the one thing about the Sarah King Tycoon line is obviously getting the Lena online is very good, but it is just repeat colors now. Now you have 2 water. We're really trying to get Earth and Fire. It looks like we have Kryl as well. Kryl would be pretty nice. We also have Lunith. Wow, man, Mike just, this man knows how to draw his backups into his hands. And that's probably why he runs 20 of them, so he'll see them. Yep, so we'll go Bosch for Lunith. We're going to do Kryl as well. Get fully online. We'd get back a summon, but I think the only Earth we have in our hand now is the 4-color Warrior of Light. You've already lost 1 to damage. I don't know if you want to give up another one. No, looks like he's willing to do it. Yeah, so we give up Lena, 4-color Wall. Kryl, we're going to get back a summon or a 5 forward, get back the Kusith, and we are fully online. We have our 4 colors on Mike's side. But we don't have the 4-color Wall. We do have the Kusith, though, so I guess that's kind of okay. Kusith can just pull him back anyway. Alphino, not an amazing hard cast. Another Sarah copy, that's not really great either. Chris could access his limit break if he wanted to try to put more cards into the break zone to turn on that Gilgamesh. You really want to turn off these colors from Mike, especially knowing he's got that Kusith in hand. But I'm not 100% sure what all colors he has in there, so I don't know if he has the line to do that. Looks like we might be going to attack first. Yes, we will. Point of damage, and it is a Shantoto. Oh, won't be used this time, sir. And there's our bonus burst. Kusith, you know, why cast Kusith? Why spend 2 CP from hand when you can just get it for free? And that's how you get back your Warrior of Light. The Kusith he pulled from the break zone, that was a diversion. He's like, you fell right into my trap. You thought I was going to cast that next turn and then play a Warrior of Light. You fool. I will simply get it back for free. We are going to do the limit break. Leo just to draw 1 card deeper. Looks like we still didn't have enough colors for Gilgamesh. That card is a lot less threatening when it's not dull freezing backups. We've got a Scholar. You could put that down if he's got the ice to pay for it. Would still draw you a card, get you another crystal, potentially helps your Cyan in the future. He's thinking about it. I can't count how many Chris has in hand. If he has 6, he kind of has to do it. Unless he's okay discarding for hand size at the end of the turn. Yes, okay, so that is our third Gilgamesh, as we saw one go into the break zone earlier. Granted, not that it's doing a whole lot for us without all these colors. So we have our second crystal. We'll draw a card. It is Axstar by the looks of it. No Amaterasu. We're not going to be able to stop anything on Mike's end. And Mike, of course, can just start his turn with that free Warrior of Light play. Double checking his break zone just to make sure. Here we go. Mr. Warrior of Light. All 4 colors have been paid. We'll go ahead and reactivate all of our backups and draw a card. Pure, free in the purest sense, as it even replaces itself in hand. We know we've even got another backup one in hand as well. We do have Tyro, so if he wanted to keep going on backups, he could absolutely put down the Tyro. You could go into the Refia, too. You would have 3 Warrior of Light on the backup line, as well as the forward. Pitch Warrior of Light. Oh, okay, we have Refia in hand. We just put it out now. We drew it earlier off the Sarah FFL. Your Ferris is online too. You're on damage 3, so your Ferris will give you a search as well. So presumably we're going to tuck. I mean, Leo just immediately gets rid. I mean, the Chris Neal deck doesn't have a ton of recursion, so you're pretty safe. Just getting rid of. I don't know if you want to get rid of Wool 7 though. See, like Wool 7, in a way, you want to get rid of it because it has the ultimate shield, so it can protect the board. But you also don't want him to play a second one. So we'll see who Mike opts to use the Rydia spin on. Leo will just vanish into the void if he uses it on that. But Leo is also subject to the 4-color Warrior of Light ping. Yeah, we just say, Gilgamesh, get rid of it. Do we protect it? You could. You could protect this. I don't know how much it's doing for you without its dull freeze online. Chris heavily considering... Yes, he does decide ultimate shield. Are we going to ping on the stack? Yeah, we will go ahead and ping Leo. And then Refia will reactivate. Draw a card. Warrior of Light's going to get to attack, and Refia is going to be removal on Chris's turn as well. Was that worth it? I don't know. Ooh, there's Amaterasu. We would have loved to have had that for the Refia. Yeah, because Mike can now just use it again on Chris's turn before the Gilgamesh ever gets to do anything. So unless we draw a second ultimate shield, that Gilgamesh might just go the way of the dodo anyway. I don't hate the Axstar, although you'll have to. See, like if he brings down Axstar trying to ping the Refia for 9,000. If the Refia spins the Gilgamesh on the stack, he'll likely only have 2 bodies of 3 cost, 3 cost bodies on the field that would only ping it for 6. So we would need 1 more. Are we going to try to Kuchulain maybe? Blanket? Try to bait it out? The amount of pressure Refia and 4-color Wool generate is just crazy. Crazy. Chris has several backups in hand, although that's not really what he's looking for at this point. We gonna Leo again? Yeah, we're digging. Looks like we got rid of a little Leela. I'm gonna draw a card. Mike says, sure, by all means. Oh man, Chris drew into another backup. He's trying to find some sort of board presence, something that helps deal with forwards, and it is not going so well right now. Now we can Axstar at this point because the Leo does give us our 3rd body. Although, see, the Leo's susceptible to the Warrior of Light 4-color ping. So we can still get rid of Leo and Gilgamesh in response. Ugh. Yeah, Chris is in a bit of a pickle here. He's trying to figure out a way out of it. These backups are not what he wanted to see. He does have an Onion Knight in hand, but he doesn't have any... I don't think he has any Lightning CP to play it. So we're going in on the Axstar, I'm assuming. Probably the Onion Knight's coming down. Usually the way the players do it is they have the Dull Freeze resolve first, then the play a forward cost 3, Is it 3 or less? Axstar might be 3 or less. I don't remember if he's exactly 3, if he's 3 or less. I think he's 3 or less. Someone else is exactly 3. That's Wool 7. So we are going to spin the Refi in response. Send Gilgamesh packing. Do we have another ultimate shield? Nope, doesn't look like it. And Gilgamesh goes to the bottom. Then let's ping the Leo off. Yep. Ugh. Goodbye, Leo, which means whenever the Axstar target comes down, it'll shoot the what I presume is the Refia for 6,000. Now, granted, because you can stack this so that the Onion Knight then sees a damage forward and you can break it. So we could still just get rid of her that way. That's not terrible. I'm assuming he targeted the Refia. I don't... Unless he decided to target Wool. Although we know there's another Wool in hand. Hits the Refia. And no, he just bounces it. And then the Dull Freeze. Yeah, and the Dull Freeze just doesn't do much when you know the Refia is kind of reactivated. I need to... Let me pull up Onion Knight here on the side. I'm pretty sure you can stack it in a way that it breaks. That you can choose a damage for it and break it. Let's see. Onion Knight. So you select one of the following 2 actions. You choose a damage for it, break it. There's Zidane. We're going to take a little peek at our opponent's hand. Check out all the backups he's got over there. Turn it to its owner's hand. Maybe not. Maybe the Onion Knight stacks in a way that he wasn't able to do it. Because the Axstar still hasn't fully resolved the damage yet. So I'm not 100% sure on that. We do have Amaterasu. So we do go ahead and burn that on the Zidane. Really nice play by Mike, as I'm sure Chris wanted to save that for the Refia, and now the way is clear. So Zidane just got the Amaterasu out of our opponent's hand. And there is Refia. She's just going to reactivate all our Warriors of Light. And then we can send this board packing. And it is Tyro. We've got our full 5 backups. Mike can now search out whatever he wants. Maybe Ferris. Arc is quite nice here as well, in case the Refia were to die. Could also just get a backup Refia. Could get another Zidane in case you want to keep hitting his hand. We do go for the Ferris. Very strong on damage 3. Everyone is activated. 4 have activated, so Refia will draw us a card. And this is looking very good for Mr. Mike, and not so good for Mr. Chris. Granny hasn't taken much. He hasn't really taken any damage yet. He's taken only 1. So here comes Warrior of Light. There goes our own Ferris. Oh man, it would have been kind of fun to see that come down when 2 Ferrises are on opposing boards, and you get the big Ferris wars. So we are checking something on Onion Knight and Axstar. We got White Mage there as judge. I love that he's wearing his White Mage outfit. I'm not sure what they're asking about. It looked like Mike had passed the turn, and then because Chris reactivated his backups. Maybe they're asking, does Onion Knight's exit ability trigger? But it says from the field to the break zone, so I feel like that can't be it. Are they asking about the damage? Are they trying to like go back and see, hey, could this have broken the Refia if it's a damage forward instead of bouncing it? Yeah, I don't know. I can't hear any audio from the table, so I'm not exactly sure what they're discussing, or maybe something to do. Oh, Axstar couldn't play Onion Knight. Yeah, all right. I couldn't watch the chat while I was so. Yeah. you know, when you're playing these Wool 7 decks, you always just think, well, yeah, you just play all the 3 costs, but no, Axstar can't actually play Onion Knight. We've passed essentially 2 full turns since then, so I will... I doubt he's going to be able to rewind this, so I'm assuming this is just going to be a warning. I need to like write a little thing in pen on my palm. Yeah, Axstar cannot play Onion Knights. Yeah, so that was clearly incorrect. Axstar can only play ice or fire forwards, and Onion Knight is neither of those, so he cannot be played. So yeah, I'm assuming it's just going to be a warning because this is so far gone, or essentially 2 turns have passed at this point. So I'm assuming they will just give a warning and then play will resume, but no, it looks like they did get rid of the Onion Knight. Did they just put it back into his hand? Yeah. I mean, technically, then he wouldn't have had to replay the Refia. So, all right, well, moving on. Chris in his hand has a Lena. Let's see, how many colors do we have? Fire, ice, light, and she's water. So we would have enough to trigger the Lena, although on the stack, you can spin the Wool 7, and then there will only be 3 colors at resolution, so then the Lena won't sacrifice something. So that's probably not going to work. Unless we can get another color on the field first. We pitch the Onion Knight. Lars is going to go get us. Do you get a 4-color wool for protection? Do you get a wool 7? We actually are going to spin on the stack the Axstar. Okay. I was going to say, well, don't spin light wool, then you can just go search it out. But so Axstar will be gone. I mean, who do you even get here? He gets the ultimate shield. Okay. You wouldn't have enough for a Cyan. Well, you can't get Cyan off Larsa anyway. Larsa's got to be 4 or more. I guess you could have maybe gotten a Ferris. So then that way on damage 3, you play the Ferris, you search all that. No, Ferris is a 3 cost too. Yeah, nope. It has to be 4 or more. So he was pretty limited in what he could get there. Most of the deck is 3 cost. So he actually, his only targets might have been 4-color Warrior of Light as well as 7-cost Light Wool. And Mike is looking in complete control in this game now. As yep, he's simply going to use the Refia, send wall packing. I don't think there's a reason to ultimate shield this, is there? I mean, what is he doing just sitting there by himself? I think, yeah, you just let it go. Mike's still going to get the card draw. Like this didn't actually cost him anything, and everything he just paid, the 4 characters that he exerted for it, tapped it, dulled it, will all stand right back up. I don't think there's much. No, Chris does. He shields it. Interesting. Well, yeah, it doesn't spin this turn. Here comes Wool. 4-color Wool. There goes another Lena. I mean, don't be wrong. I don't think Chris is in like a great spot, period. But I don't know. I'm not really sure what the point of protecting this Wool at this is, especially when this Refie is just going to do it again on your turn. And we go ahead and get Zidane. Do we play it this turn? Or do we just leave all our backups up and say, yeah? Yes. Here comes, I'm assuming, Mr. Zidane. Let's see what you got in there. It's a Lena. Would you like to take it? Mike doesn't have a reason to currently, unless he's really afraid of what Chris could draw into. But again, Chris doesn't even have enough colors to trigger the sacrifice, and you can just sacrifice Zidane at this point. I don't know what Chris can top deck here to save him, but whatever it is, he needs it now. We've got 4-color Warrior of Light and 2 backups. Oh, or was one of those a Lena? Yeah, no, it's 2 backups. It's Arya and the Samurai. Oof. Well, Arya will go get us a Warrior of Light. Now we can search out that Ferris if we want. And I mean, we can search out the Wool 7. So you'd have a chance to replay it, but it'll be next turn. You could potentially be dead by then. Yep. Wool 7 goes, then we search out. Christian's like, whoop! Take that right back off the bottom. Yeah, it was like we knew Mike was going to be able to. That's why I just don't know what the point of using the ultimate shield was. Man, we don't have enough for the Wool 7. Yeah, and if Mike can produce another Warrior of Light, give it haste with Lunith, this match is just over right now. And Chris is not going to get a turn to get to that card to potentially use it. Is this our Ferris? We've got her in hand. We've also got Amaterasu. He's got Mist Dragon. He's got Amaterasu. Like, Mike is just straight gas in his hand. All gas, no brakes. Which means, barring some EX burst that usually doesn't exist in a Wool 7 deck, this one is looking pretty over. So we'll give Ferris haste, reactivate all our Warriors of Light, and Ferris will go in first. First point of damage will be Gilgamesh, no help there. Zidane, let's see your hand. Oh, well, he technically had to look at his hand, but it's fine. I mean, they know the match is over anyway. And that's the game. Mike takes it pretty cleanly. Chris did not get an amazing hit off the Wool 7. Like, man, how much of a difference would it have made if that Gilgamesh had been online to where at least it's freezing the Sarah back up? That would have been huge. Yeah, obviously we had the Onion Knight misplay off the Axstar in the middle of the match. I don't think that would have made much of a difference because Mike was just so far ahead. Like, it just felt like Chris could barely get anything done. And looks like they immediately went to an ad. All right, so we've seen 3 Gigawool on stream. Mike showing us our first 4-color Refia list. He will take a clean one. Yeah, I think I got cut off by the ads. That's okay. I'll just keep talking in case anyone, I don't know, has like Twitch Pro or something that prevents the ads going on. Yeah, seems like there is a lot of advertisements. Twitch's got to make their money, I suppose. Oh my god, I'm just catching up. the comments. Dude, Vladdy Tips. I love that comment. That's such a... All this card playing is ruining my ad experience. Oh, man, that's funny. Gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, and then the Tabletop Tavern was telling me they cut it back on the ads. They already tried to like cut it down and reduce it, and it's still just kind of running amok. Vladdy, you get comment of the day from me, sir. all this card playing is ruining my ad experience. That makes me want to make a like parody commercial. Folks, are you tired of not being able to see your ads? Oh my goodness. Yeah, supposedly we're only supposed to be seeing them once an hour and when prompted, but who knows? So lunch break will be at 2 p.m., which is in a little under an hour. That match went on for a decent amount, so I'm going to assume we can at least get one more match in before we go for our lunch break. So we should be able to get round 4 in, then probably a lunch break, and then, yeah, White Mage said he's going to sneak one more in. And then straight to lunch, and then there'll be 2 rounds after that, as we'll go to round 6. And I believe it is cut to top 16 for tomorrow. Dude, Vladdy, I don't know what, dude, your message like just tickled me pink. Like, all this card playing is ruining my ad experience. What's going on? That's brilliant. All right, so we are going to sneak one more match in here before lunch. See who we can get on stream for this next one. I'm going to go take a quick water break, and I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss any of those gorgeous ads that are coming around, so stay tuned. All right, folks, looks like we are getting ready to start round 4, which will be our last round before a lunch break for delicious tacos for everyone wearing those armbands. If I have been given the correct deck list, then it should be Julian versus Alex. Looks like Julian is going to be on a 4-color Warrior of Light Refia deck. And looks like Alex is going to be on a mono water deck. Seems like pretty traditional stuff. Lena, Leviathan, that sort of thing. All right, looks like we've got Alex on the right, so he should be our mono water player. And Julian on the left, that should be our 4-color Warrior of Light player. I wish I could say I could smell those tacos cooking in the parking lot, but I cannot. So I'll just have to find my own around here. And then after that, we'll come back for 2 more rounds. And that should be it for the day. 6 rounds, then we'll move on to a top 16 tomorrow. Oh, I like those sleeves that Alex has. I'm not sure what that design is, but it looks neat. Alex fishing for the old pocket dice. This will determine who gets to go first here. Julian wearing a coat? Man, I'm getting hot just looking at him. Surely it's got to be warm there. Maybe it's a cool day in San Diego. I don't know. I don't actually know what the weather's like. I think I saw 2 Mist Dragons in Julian's opening hand. Neither players like their hands, so we're going to go for a mulligan. Give me, you know what? Go ahead and give me a do-over. Give me one more. Let me do it again. A nice friendly fist bump to get started, and Julian will start us off. He does have at least Lunith in hand. That's a decent start, as well as, I think, Sarah FFL. So he could get fire and water online immediately if he would like. Pitches Zidane, presumably for Lunith, and we just pass there. Might potentially go into Sarah next turn. Save up 1 CP for that old Amaterasu. As Alex is running the forward war. I didn't think I saw the 7-cost Light Wool in his deck. But he is running the new Opus 22 Warrior of Light that deals with standard units. Speaking of standard units, our Astrologian is going to come down. Let me divine the future. So when Astrologian enters the field, we're going to check the top 3 cards of our deck, put 1 into our hand, 1 back on top of the deck, and 1 on the bottom. That Loprip backup was quite potent when it came out, and the Astrologian just came out 1 set later, said, yeah, you think you're a cute bunny boy? Let me show you what I can do. Tyro is not a bad one to curve into here for Julian. Gets his color fixing online, which is what we're going to do. We'll pitch an Une and a Refia. Go search out any Ford we like. Probably maybe 4-color Wool. If you want to get online here, Zidane is very good too, as that Tyro can now tap for wind. So we are threatening our opponent, hey, I'm gonna take your cards next turn. Julian's shuffling is very interesting. He just it looks like he's just picking up the middle card and then just letting it back in, and it kind of weave shuffles out from around that. Some people can weave shuffle so smoothly, and there's times I'll try it and it feels like the cards are constantly getting caught on each other. We do have a Tomeberry in Alex's hand. That's a very nice, easy play. Just put out a monster, draw a card. Can't quite tell if he's got further backups. I'm assuming he would want to develop them. He also has to be a little mindful if there's something he's worried about the Zidane potentially coming down and taking. He may wish to get onto the field. Itch a Levy 6. Yep, Toneberry will draw a card for its entry effect. And where does that get us? Is that Larson hand? I couldn't quite tell what that backup is. We have an Ash. That's not going to do a whole lot for us at the moment. Might want to hold on to that for the Zidane, although if the Zidane just takes it away, I guess that won't be very useful. So we pitch the Ash, and I can't see what that card was under it. We will go ahead and put out Larsa. Search for, do you get the Warrior of Light? Warrior of Light would let you curve into more backups. You could then search out another standard unit backup. I guess you could go into something like, no, Glaciella is a 3 cost. So say her removal could potentially be good. Big Leviathan. Okay. So I feel like you have to discard this card and put something else out. Because if that just sits in your hand, then I think Julian's going to be heavily incentivized to have Zidane come down and just remove it from the game forever. Whereas it's kind of quote-unquote protected in your break zone. Yeah, it's vulnerable to a Mist Dragon, but... No, he just passes. Okay, yeah, well, unless Julian opts to just go in on the Sarah or the Lena. I mean, he could. He doesn't have to jam Zidane out here. He could take his time. He has Lena. Pretty sure he still has the Sarah. So maybe Alex is thinking that it's like, all right, well, if you put the Zidane out, though, you're not developing your own resources. We're pitching 2. Are we going to do the Sarah? Yeah, we are. Okay. Maybe I'm too greedy, but if I was Julian, and part of me thinks I would have just jammed out the Zidane and said, okay, Leviathan's gone. Like, I'm not going to deal with that card. We go for the Warrior of Light, but maybe he also feels, hey, I don't actually care about Leviathan that much. I've got things like Kuchulain. I have Amaterasu. I have Refia, which isn't a bounce, just gets it off the field and back into the deck. So I've got a lot of ways to deal with it. So go ahead, get your Leviathan out. I don't care. Sarah's going to search this out, a 4-color Warrior of Light as well as Refia. Exactly what we saw Mike search with it earlier. And I'm assuming we'll pass here. I don't know what else he would play at this point. Yeah, so we have 2 Refia in hand, 4-color wall. No, does he? Oh, the Lena. Yeah, we can put the Lena out. That's right, I forgot we had that in hand. Interesting, he picked the 4-color wall over the Refia. Granted, you can't play it right now, as we're missing... What do we have? We have Earth, Fire, Water, so we need Wind. Or at least another Earth, and Tyro can generate our Wind. But we did have a spare Refia in hand. So now we have a Refia and Zidane. And what can Alex counter with? So now that Leviathan is quote-unquote protected in our break zone... Unit comes down. The water standard unit comes down for free. I don't remember which class that is. Is that a culinarian? A weaver? A cook? I think the weaver is the lightning one. Cook is the culinarian. Might be alchemist. I can't remember. Now this is probably a good turn for the Zidane. Alex did leave up 2 backups. So that kind of makes me think he wants to cast something. Okay, he does. I was like, it's kind of weird he would do that and overpay for the Una then. But yeah, I see Anima in his hand. So Anima can do a little reverse game removal. Says, oh, you want to remove something from the game? All right. How about you yourself, sir? Or are we reconsidering? We have 2 Animas in hand. If you don't use it, Zidane's probably going to grab it and then go grab the next one. So I think you kind of just have to fire it off here. Oh, no, we're just going to cancel. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know about that, because Zidane has haste. He can still just go in and he'll look again. And then you're going to lose the Anima anyway. Okay, so now here's Refia. We're going to attempt to move. Okay, now, before. Okay, I'm assuming this is before combat, not on the stack. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Now that he was trying to predict the Refia. Nice. Very done. Well done, Alex. We don't even attack with Zidane. Interesting. It would have been a free hit. Maybe we were worried about an EX burst. Alex didn't have any cards in hand, so he couldn't even animate the Tonberry. So it would have been a quote-unquote free point of damage, obviously, unless you got punished by an EX burst. Another Tonberry. Go ahead and draw one deeper. Are we considering using the Astrologian? Or do we have one? Hey, there we go. Yeah, Grosh. All right, Alex has got to feel pretty good now. Not that there shouldn't really be any dull freezing effects in Julian's board, but I guess if he has anything that targets a character, it will have to target the Yagrosh if possible. Zidane now is potentially in danger of getting blocked by one of these Tonberries, although he'll trade it at least. We do have Arc, but it's not damage 3, so Arc won't be able to revive anything from the break zone. Yeah, I mean, he does have a Refi in there, but yeah, it's too soon for that. Refia Part 2? King Tycoon. Okay, nice. So we can go ahead and get ourselves a copy of Lena or Ferris. We'll get Ferris, and we do have all of our colors online now, so we are ready for 4-color Warrior of Light when he comes down. Not much reason to play this Ferris this turn. I guess if you wanted to overpay from hand, and then you could use the Lunith to give it haste. It just doesn't really seem like he needs to commit that, though. You also have the Lena special online. Yep, which is what we're going to do. Raise or Arise. So are we going to get the Refia back? Nice. Yeah, that's really good. We're going to go to combat. We won't get the card draws. We'll only be activating 3 Warriors of Light unless we put Ferris down, and then we would have the Lunith down, too. Is that 2 all in? Yeah, so goes ahead and reactivates. Now these Tonberries can't really block, as we can just spin them with the Refia. Okay, he does do that. But Julian does get a chance to respond, yeah, before it blocks, so he can send that on top and then have the Zidane hit into damage. Yep, which is exactly what will happen. I mean, I guess, did he have to do that? If he didn't, he was going to lose the Shinryu, but I mean, then you would have drawn a card off of, I don't know. Yeah, I don't, I mean, he did bait out the Refia spin now, right? So now if Alex wants to commit a forward to the board, but the only issue is because you're in top deck mode, you don't really know what you're going to get out of that. Well, Leo will help you dig a little deeper. We're not close enough to get something like a Tidus online yet. But if you can answer this Refia, you need to do it now, because if that thing sticks around... Okay, hey, there you go. There's your answer. Ash the Queen comes down for 1 CP and says, how about a little minus 10,000 for your power level? Oh, nice, and we have Trost too. Okay, so now we are getting into that Tidus range. Not that we can pay for it this turn. And we'll pass back. We drew a Mist Dragon. Could be a nice time to preemptively empty that break zone before the Lena comes down. So I don't hate a raw Mist Dragon cast. You do have Ferris, which could kill Leo. That's really probably not worth it. And I can't really see what he has behind those 2 cards. Ash can't block Zidane. Granted, Zidane has nothing to steal out of hand, but if he just wanted to get a point of damage in, he can go in pretty cleanly. Julian could access his own limit break deck. Presumably he's got his own Leo in there. We're going to do the Mist Dragon? Yep, we will. Just say, all right, let's go ahead and just shut off that Leviathan early. Did we draw into anything useful? Looks like a 6-cost Leviathan, so no, not quite. Which we are going to pitch for. Is it another Refia? Ferris, maybe? No? Yeah, it's Refia. Okay. So we have exactly 4 Warrior of Light on the field, as the Tyro and the King Tycoon are not counting. Oh, are we going in on the Ferris too? Okay, nice. Yeah. So Ferris will do 1,000 to the board, and then for every Warrior of Light that takes damage, she gets to ping something for 3,000. So we spent 1 ping on the Leo. We're going to spend the others on the Ash. So Ash will have taken a total of 1,000 plus 3, 4. The nice thing is we can give this Ferris haste once the Refia reactivates with Lunith. And then Lunith can go in, or Ferris can go in. I'm assuming that's what we're going to do. We're going to tap the Lunith with the Lana. Yep. Give her haste. Send her in. She's going to ping the board again. So now this Ashe is going to take another 5 plus 2 shots of 3. Ashe should be very dead. Now, the only downside is we have turned off our Refia trigger for that, but we don't have anything in hand to activate the Tomberry. And we leave the Zidane up. Yeah, doesn't want to put him on damage 3. Says, I'd really rather not turn on your Tros. Alex needs a good draw here. Tidus is now very far away. Looks like he got a Levitarasu summon, and maybe that's a backup behind it. Not very good. Not what you were looking for. So you may just have to Leo again, trying to dig for something better. Although the Levitarasu is okay to cancel the Refia reactivation next turn. Oh, wow. We're just going to crack the Astrologian. He's trying to divine deeper and draws 1 card. Looks like he drew a 6-cost Leviathan. So it looks like he's got a lot of expensive summons in hand. Yeah, he's not loving that position. Well, we got our Summoner backup down. I think that can cancel a summon of maybe 3 or less. I'll have to pull that one up. Julian draws into an Amaterasu on his hand, so if he was feeling good before, he's got to be feeling really good right now. Is that Summoner or is that Scholar? Is that the Scholar that bounces? Let's see. Cast Warrior of Light for free, and we will cancel that with Levitarasu. I mean, you kind of had to, although this Refia is just going to give us back, well, some of that CP anyway. I wonder if it would have been, I don't know. There's no good answer here, but I wonder if it would have been better to wait for the Refia, make him dull everything, and then cancel that, and then you prevent the card draw as well. You would have canceled the reactivation, of course, not the removal effect. Here comes the Dane. We don't have anything in hand, do we? Uh-oh. Is this game over? I mean, Tros can come online. No, we passed there. Don't feel the need to send in Ferris or Refia. This is looking pretty bad for Mono Water. This is that time you would want your big Leviathan Lord of the World play, but not only does Julian have Amaterasu in hand, so it's not even going to resolve. I'm pretty sure Alex doesn't have it online either. This 4-color Warrior of Light deck is not to be trifled with. Once it gets set up, it's just so powerful, and the resource efficiency is just insane. Asking to see the Refia. We do have enough Warrior of Lights. We can even leave up a blocker with this. So any forward of our choosing is going to be going to the top or bottom of the deck. It looks like, is that another backup in hand? Yep, we're gonna pray to the Leo gods. Sir Leo, Sir King, please get me out of this situation. I don't even know what I mean, you need Lena Leviathan, right? That's technically the only answer, even though we know it's gonna get canceled. But Alex doesn't know that, so that's kind of what you have to look for. Even like a Glaciella doesn't do it, you just don't have enough ammo to clear this board out, and you can always spin it. See, that's the thing. The 4-color has him essentially in this lockout state, because even if the Glaciella came down, you can just spin it before you even get the crystal, so Alex would never even get a chance to spend it. He's looking. He's thinking. Sir, if you can find a way out of this, I would love to be proved wrong, but it is looking very dire for you right now. You potentially have 3 blockers, but there's so much free removal on Julian's side. Reactivating the Tros? Or we're limit breaking again? Oh, we're going to try for the Tidus. Okay, so we turn Tros online, so we'll have enough characters. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have exactly 8. So Julian can just respond by using the 4-color wall on the Leo. That's all he's got to do. Or he can use Refia to spin something. Or he can use Amaterasu. Take your pick. How would you like to stop this effect, sir? He's like, let's just do the classic way. Amaterasu. Yep. Alex nodding. Yep. Okay. And now that we'll go ahead and ping him. And Titus is gone. 8,000 from the Amaterasu, another 5,000 from Warrior of Light. I mean, yep, Leo's going to go on attack. Oof. So what's the right order? You could attack with Warrior of Light first, immediately ping Leo, although I kind of like saving the Warrior of Light for a Tonberry. Oh, yeah, we're going to do our own Titus. Julian says, I kind of like that, actually. Yeah, let me show you how that works. This is the right way to do it. So Yagrosh is going to go to the top of the deck. Leo will be going to Oblivion, aka what normally would be the bottom of the deck, but he's a limit break, so he's not allowed. No limit breaks allowed in the main deck, sir. And we'll go ahead and draw 2 cards off of that as well. Hey, that's pretty good. And this, Alex will need the burst to save all burst to not die here. As there's no way this Tonberry, none of this should really resolve. So I'm assuming you send in... Oh, I was going to say send in Warrior Light first. Sends in Zidane. Sends in Warrior of Light. Oh, we don't have any cards in hand. Oh, there's a bonus burst. We can shrink something by 10,000. I mean, yeah, that's an easy way to get rid of ref. Yeah. Did he draw? What did he draw a card for? Did I miss an effect? And the Tros. Well, we didn't die. We actually did stay alive. Or is he deciding before blocks? Does he have an effect to just get rid of the Tros? Oh, we're giving it, okay, 1,000 power so it doesn't die. I don't think there's a way for Julian to take... Yeah, wow. All right, well, Alex, he did live, but he now needs the top deck of his life. Looks like White Mage is checking... Yeah, they're going over the interactions. Maybe he's checking to see why the Ferris didn't die. Yep, so we gave the 1,000 power from the Lunith. Or no, because it pings itself. That's what they're saying, yeah. So Ferris still pings the board when it attacks. So even though she got the 1,000 bump, she took 1,000 from her own effect, and then she took 7,000 from the Tros, so Ferris still did. Good job, White Mage. Always there to catch all that. Alex, can you save yourself for one more turn? Seems very unlikely. Draw of Destiny, Lena Leviathan. Revive Leviathan. That's the only thing, right? We cast Cuchulain, draw 1 deeper. Lena Leviathan? Do we even have enough for it? No, I don't think we do. I'd say you could animate Tonberry and try to get him for a single point of damage, but big old Wool sitting there is just like, okay, block. He does have Lena. He does have the Lena. He could play the Blue Worm. I don't know if he has enough cards in his break zone, but that's technically his only answer. Is you play the Blue Worm off 2 backups, hope you draw into the Leviathan, tap your backup, pitch Leviathan for Lena. Did he get it? But again, I don't know if he even has enough cards in the break zone to use the Lena effect. We got the Fiend. Do we have enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I don't think we have enough, so wouldn't have mattered even if we got there. There is a Lord of the Whirl in there. But yep. No dice, as they say. Lena looks beautiful in full art. Alex has to pass, and this will surely be the end of the game. He doesn't have any cards in hand, so Tonberry isn't even a blocker. He has 2 blockers. Lena can't even block the Titus, or can't block the Zidane, sorry. Julian wants to commit a forward Warrior of Light just to give the Lunith haste potential too. He could. Looks like he's going to do. Yep, Ferris. Oh, wow, yeah, that's going to take Lena. Lena's also a Warrior of Light, isn't she? Although I don't think it pings on your opponent's stuff, if I'm not mistaken. So, send in Zidane, has to block with the blue worm, send in Wool, and that's the game. GG. 4-color Warrior of Light, looking very dominant, as it usually is. Mike put on a really good showing with it, as did Julian. I had a little hope for Alex there. He had all 5 backups. He was ready to roll, but yeah, that he just kind of got stalled out there in the mid game, and he just, you know, even as free as some of his stuff is, he still has to pay for a lot of his effects, and a lot of the 4-color Warrior of Light is completely free, so you just can't keep up with that kind of value. Lena is a Warrior of Light. Let me check Ferris. I don't remember if Ferris as your opponent's. I don't think so. I think it's only your... I wrote Fatus. F-A-R... Oh my gosh, I can't type on this. S. Come on. Ferris. You control is dealt damage. Yeah, so she wouldn't count pinging the Lena. It's got to be a card you control. Well, there you go. That's round 4. So I am told there will be a lunch break coming up here. Sounds like they have some delicious tacos for all the competitors out in the parking lot, or perhaps a fun place for them to eat. After lunch break, I'm assuming it's going to be an hour. I haven't been given an official time yet. Check back here. We will have the last 2 rounds of the day, rounds 5 and 6, before we go on until Top Cut, Top 16. Oh, 45-minute lunch break. Nice. So it's actually not even that long. I'll let you know when it starts. Okay, so probably it's going to be around, for me, 4:45. They're trying to get an hour potentially, but... Oh, unlimited tacos. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Let's invent teleportation so I can get in on some of that. Sounds delicious. All right, folks. Well, take a short break. Have some lunch. Get yourself some tacos if you're there. Thanks again to Tabletop Tavern for hosting this San Diego Materia Cup for Final Fantasy trading card game. I am Rudros. We will be back after lunch for another 2 rounds before the end of the day. We'll see you in about 45 minutes to an hour. All right, folks. Looks like we are back after a lunch break. Oh, hold on. Echoing. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. Just in time. Who do we got? Milo versus Ronald. Haven't gotten a chance to look at these deck lists. I know they were submitted. Ooh, Thornton, turn 1. I'm assuming we're doing some kind of 4-color deck. Maybe Soiree. Be kind of interesting to see. Go ahead and get out Iridia. Okay. So maybe this is just kind of like an Earth Water carry arc, Chaos Arc variant build. Hope everyone had some delicious tacos. I did not, unfortunately. Took the break to just relax. Close my eyes on the couch for a second. But ooh, tacos after this? Now that sounds awesome. What do we got? Is that an Odin? 7-cost Odin with a Cindy. Okay. Or is this just kind of like aggro lightning? And Cindy's going in. Hits a Miss Dragon into damage. Says, that's what I think of your damage zone, sir. Ooh, do we have any backup follow-ups? Yeah, it looks like, I think that's Reeve. So I'm assuming that's the 4-cost. We'll look at the top 3 cards of our deck. Oh, okay. I just saw Noct go. So this is Warriors of Darkness. Yep. So we'll look at the top 3 cards of our deck. Put one of them into our hand. And it does say look. It does not say reveal. So we do not have to show this to our opponent. And we'll pass there. That's kind of interesting. We got rid of Noct. I wonder if we have a second one. Let's see. You wouldn't think you'd want to get rid of that Warrior of Darkness. Now we know we have Rydia, so we can easily curve out into whatever summoners, summons we wish. which is what I'm assuming we're due. We actually give up 2 other backups ourselves. Looks like a Lena and a Tyro for Rydia. Can search a forward summoner such as Garnet. Can also get a backup summoner such as Yuna. Yep, looks like we're getting the Yuna, so our summon just must be a different color than the Yuna. Could go for Arc if that's in here. Could also just go for Kusith, Hackathon, Miss Dragon, whatever your preferred Earth summon is. We also have the backup breaking Hackathon. That's kind of interesting. Could use it on something like that Reeve. Go for the Miss Dragon. And Not off the knock. The most he can do is the Alba. And with only 2 backups, I don't know if he actually even has enough to play knocked right now. I'm not sure what his hand count is at. As that knocked is a very expensive 9 CP. Milo has, looks like 4 cards in hand. We know one of them is Une. Une is going to feel pretty good coming down next turn if we can get there. We pitch Tyro. Okay, we're going in on... We are now set up for knock next turn, which will be nice. Who do you get this turn? He could have gotten another Astinian if he had it and warped it again. Essentially, again, putting that lethal surprise pressure on next turn. He would have had to pay differently. Pay using the Kolka instead of the Reeve. We do get another Cindy. I'm assuming we're not going to jam it out this turn. Yeah, we say go ahead and pass. But maybe just want our opponent to fear that. So next turn, if we've got 2 in hand now, 3, we can tap 3. We'll need to pitch 3 more for knocked, 5, 7, 9. That would be everything but that would essentially be your whole hand, and you'd refill. You could get the Alba for 1 point of haste, but you would lose the Cindy. Milo could slow this down with Une. It's a really solid blocker. It would take that knocked off of being on curve. It would require another card to come out from it. Could even warp the Garnet if you think you're going to last that long. Can always do the classic, rely on Leo, see what Leo gets you. Milo is flitting and flicking his hand 100 miles a minute. So what we do go in on is that Siren? I'm assuming that's Siren. Yeah, I'm assuming that's... So if that's a new Siren card, essentially, whenever one of your... Is it characters or forwards? I think it's forwards is targeted by essentially any effect. You get to flip the top card of your deck into the break zone, and as long as it's not a forward yourself, you get to cancel it. We will hit our limit as we go into Leo. Siren, when 1 or more forwards you control are chosen by your opponent, summon or ability. And Une is going to go ahead and bounce back our Tyro. And Milo now has quite the board. Yeah, we can't freely go into the knock the way we were able to. I mean, I think we still have enough to pay for it. It's just going to cost us most of our hand. Granted, so Alba would kill... Well, nothing guaranteed. It could try to kill the Siren, but obviously there's a very good chance Milo just cancels that. I don't hate something like Diana. Diana says that because you can do the repeated dull, you can make the Siren trigger a lot, and you can kind of mill him out pretty effectively that way. Now, granted, Siren is optional, so we don't have to always trigger. It does say may. Yep, looks like here comes the big man. We pitch our entire hand for Mr. Knocked. How bad would Levi Tarasi feel here? Hopefully we have one of each of the Warriors of Darkness. There's Diana, there's Alba, and tell me we've got a Glaive. I mean, you could always search out another copy of Knocked. He does? Okay. So either we didn't have a Glaive, or we just decided we didn't want to get it. I don't... Yeah, I don't know about, like, the Brave on the Glaive is huge, and you're not really going to be able to resolve this Knocked special very easily with a Siren on board. So I'm assuming we're going to... No, we do go for the Diana. We're going to draw a card. We now do have the Dull online, which, again, the Siren can potentially block, but if we're having to trigger Siren twice every turn, we're basically taking a turn off our opponent deck-wise every time we do that, which, of course, will only matter if we get to the last card in deck, but... We do also have this Une online now, too, on Milo's side, once it goes back to his turn. And Une can just recover... Oh, okay, so we didn't knock special. We actually went for the Man in Black. Interesting. So we've got a Mist Dragon in reserve. That's pretty cool, although we obviously can't use it this turn. Interesting. Huh. And we do have big 9k beaters too, so the only thing that can really push through this right now is Une, but obviously you want to save that for summon recursion. And oh, chaos. Nice. Okay, so we're going to pay a full 7 for chaos. Immediately smack the man in black with arc. It will die, but we had no cards in hand, so we're not going to get the discard. And we do still have access to that one Mist Dragon. So Diana's going to attempt to dull. Siren, yep, mills and protects against it. I'm assuming maybe this is at turn pass. It'd be odd if he was doing this in combat. Une attempting to get back the arc, I'm assuming. Which, of course, we can just cast for free. Oh, boy. This turned around quick for Milo. That Arc Chaos. Yep. And we blocked. The Siren blocked it again. I'm assuming we... Well, no. Une isn't dull yet, so I'm assuming we haven't targeted anything. I thought we were trying to recur Arc with Une. But Une is still active. Okay, we're resolving the Chaos. That's what we were doing. So Chaos takes Diana. Oof. This game flipped quick. Now Ronald has 1 forward on the board. No Warriors of Darkness to follow it up. And now we are going to go in with Leo. We do hit our own bonus burst. Tyro, I mean, presumably, if there's anyone left, you would get a Warrior of Darkness, right? Because then the Noct can play it for free. Granted, you have to assume this Une is also going to just get Arc back. Yeah. I can't imagine this Alba is actually going to hit the field off Noct. There's Une, trying to get back Arc, which of course we have nothing to stop it. And I assume we're immediately going to fire that off. I mean, I guess you could wait, but... Why even give him a chance to play out something from his hand next turn? Just rob him of it right now. Ooh, we drew a 7-cost Odin. That is not a card you want to draw into your hand. Milo keeps checking that face down card to make sure it really is what it is. Yeah, Ronald, I don't know how you get out of this now. Like, your turn kind of looked okay. You had the Noct. You got the free play. But, man, that Chaos Arc just... Especially when you know now Arc is just going to happen every single turn. Hey, turns out casting 9 CP for free every turn, that's pretty strong. It's quite strong. So I'm assuming we're doing this before combat so that the Noct effect doesn't go on this stack. Yep, which it does. And then we cast the Mist Dragon. Yeah. I mean, it's something, I guess. Well, we get rid of the Arc, so it can't recur it anymore. Although we are in a bad way. We could use a couple of those Odins off the top to just knock out this Une, knock out this Chaos. Here comes our own Diana. E2 Diana. Hey, there is a bonus burst. Oh, man. Now that's how you get rid of Siren. RNA breaks it 4 to 3 or less, and Siren cannot respond to it. And there's another bonus burst. Cannot hit Une or Chaos, so we will take back our own Diana. Is there a... we got another one coming? No, not Gilgamesh. I was like, we were 3 for 3 there for a second. There's Ico. We're going to go fetch out a summon, put it into our break zone. Presumably it's going to be another Arc, which Une is immediately going to recur for us. Add it right into our hand. Yeah, Milo was looking rough early, but the power of Arc Chaos stabilizes. That's the best it's ever been, baby. And we casting a limit break? Matt, maybe? We do cast Matt. Kind of interesting we didn't cast that pre-combat. Or maybe it's just now he wants an extra blocker based on all the bursts that hit. Because obviously we could have kept up all those forwards. Still, Milo in a very good position. Ronald just has so little in hand to work with. I don't know. I mean, Cloud can come down to what? Bop the Leo? That doesn't feel very good. Gilgamesh is very expensive here, even if we had it. Really, you want something like a Shantoto, but you can't afford it. Even the Limit Break Toto, I don't think you can afford it here. Yeah, you just don't have enough cards in hand to pay that crazy high 9 CP cost. Yeah, this man's playing, Milo's playing 9 CP for free over and over again. Ronald's Limit Break Toto demands you actually pay 9. He's also dead on board next turn if he doesn't do something. I don't know what that something is. Again, Cloud can take out Leo. That doesn't feel very good. You have to kill this Chaos, right? You have to kill Chaos. Somehow you have to kill it without putting a body on the board so that way Une can't recur the arc to get it back. Well, we go in on Tyro. We're going to have exactly 1 CP left to play whatever we get with. So if he has a 1 CP Earth Forward, we can put down that somehow saves us. Well, we get Aranea. I mean, even if he like bursts 2 removal spells, he bursts 2 Odins, let's say. Like, we have 4 blockers. I don't think that's gonna matter. So we attack with Leo. I mean, it's a bonus burst. It is Kadaj. We'll dull 1. He has to have hit something here that he's praying, please stop this chaos. It is a Gold Knocked, I think, or is that Glaive? Yeah, I think it was the old Knocked. It was technically a burst, but I don't think its effect triggers. Its effect is based on someone like entering via warp or a forward enter. I don't know. Either way, Milo cleans that one up. He took his time. He was patient, and the patience paid off. Art Chaos just came down and completely shut down the game against Ronald. Ronald going with the early aggression with the Cindy and the Estinian. He had a chance to do earlier knocked, but I guess he just wasn't comfortable going in on that. So Milo will take that one. And folks, we're now just 1 round away from the end of the day. And our San Diego Materia Cup day 1 was Swiss. Check, make sure you guys didn't get bombarded with ads while that was said. I have not seen any standings. If we get any, we can share them with you here, but I haven't seen any standings yet. But obviously, when the event ends, we also want to make sure we get top cut for everybody, which should be a top 16 cut. From what I heard earlier, Shady Sheepy, there were 62 players signed up. I don't know if that number altered at all, but that's what I was told right before the event started, was 62. Final fist bump as our players gather up their things. Make sure, whenever you're playing against a Chaos Arc deck, make sure you're always getting your cards back. I've had people walk off with my cards before, just scooping them up into their own deck. All right, looks like we are setting up for our final round of the day. This is going to be round 6. If the deck lists I was given are accurate, it looks like we will have Mr. Brian Berkeley on stream versus, we might have Milo again. It looks like Milo, we just saw him on the Earth Water Chaos Arc. And it looks like Brian is on 7 cost light wool. Giga Wall, as some prefer to call it. Oh, and it looks like I might be able to get some standings for you guys too. Sweet. So I might have some standings to read off for you. You're getting a bunch of different messages. Oh, sweet. We do have some standings. Okay. So currently, let's take a look at what we have. Oh, I just have to blow these up in paint. They're so tiny. Okay. So Brian Berkeley is undefeated, 5-0, taking on Milo, who is also undefeated. Hold on. Freaking out on me. Hold on. Okay. Brian Berkeley is in first. Milo is in second. Looks like Mike Powell's in third. Alex GRA is in fourth. We have a Jason R in fifth. And, the judges are swapping up the stream too. Sixth is Julian H. 7 is Ronald. Can't see the last name. 8 is Matthew. Can't see the last name. 9 is David M. 10 is Ryan Chen. 11 is Musa R. 12 is Alex Early. 13 is Lyndon T. 14 is Edward something. 15 is Patrick P. 16 is Nolan C. And that is the current top 16. And on the bubble right now is a Charles. Cannot see after that. Back by popular demand, Big Daddy coming is what I've been told. Okay. I must confess, I don't know what Big Daddy means. Winner of the... Okay, so this is a win and in. So we didn't... I guess they were originally going to put on what was the top 2 going at it, but... to answer your question in the chat, Berserk Alucard, it was a total of 62 players today, and I'm told we were doing top 16. This match is a win and in for top 16. And this is our final match of the day, so I want to give a big thank you and shout out to Tabletop Tavern for hosting the San Diego Materia Cup. We are here with round 6. This is going to be our last round for Swiss for the day before we move on to Top Cut tomorrow. So let's get some hype / noise in chat for your final round for the day. As we have, looks like Eddie S on the right versus Patrick on the left side. Patrick P. And Eddie S. Looks like our players are just waiting to get their official start. And we will close out this day. And this is a win and in, so whoever wins this should make it to top 16. Okay, I'm getting a quick updated deck. Let me see if I have time to do this before. Patrick is on Garnet, Leo, Ingus, Chaos. Okay, he looks like he's on like Mono Earth Chaos Arc, I'm guessing. Yeah, okay. I can't look at that now. Gotta go back to the stream. All right, so looks like Eddie is starting us off with a Sarah. Pitches 2 Leviathans, one of the Lord of the Wall variety, one of the 6-cost variety, and goes to search out Lady Lena. Are we going to put that down? Why, yes, we are. 3 summons in the break zone, or sorry, 2 summons in a forward in the break zone, and 2 backups on the backup line. We are pitching a Genova Synthesis and an Une for a minor. And reveal the top 5 looking for a backup. Oh my gosh, did we whiff? Womp bum ba-dum, bam. That is a whiff on the minor. I know that pain all too well. Find it very difficult to get that card to hit even when you want it to. So now we're going to curve into an Icy Agrosh, as well as a free, I believe it's the Alchemist. So Eddie is all the way up to 4 backups. That's got to feel pretty good, especially for how free those were. All right, minor 2. Surely this isn't going to whiff. Oh my goodness, is he going to whiff twice? Woo! Clara's showing up right at the end there to be like, oh, hold on. Sorry, I'm late. Don't get mad. I am here. Dude, Patrick almost whiffed twice in a row on that minor. I don't know what he's digging for, but it certainly ain't gold. We had a spare Alchemist in hand going to put down the Leo. Interesting. And, oh, it almost looked like I could put Montleonis on the field. It's like, I don't think that's how that works. That we're using the Montleonis. And we put down Loporrit. Loporrit, I believe, lets us draw 2 cards, and then we put a card from our hand back on the bottom of the deck. And we are on a full 5 backups at this point. Mono water with a splash of fire. I don't know if he actually has a way to cast that Montleonis. Or maybe it's just in there just for some random rare occasion. Well, I guess we'll find out. I mean, he doesn't have any fire backups, so yeah, I don't know how he could possibly get that thing off, but maybe it's just there as an easy target to sacrifice for your Limit Break deck. We will put down the Claris on Patrick's side. We'll let us search out a Job King. We opt to get Epitaph, and then we put down our Leather Worker completely for free. Leather Worker and Alchemist are, of course, symmetrical backups. As long as you have 3 backups in play, they essentially get to be played for free. Leo's going to go in, punch for our first point of damage. Eddie sends him in, and Patrick reveals a Genova Synthesis. Eddie will now actually immediately use the Loporrit. So you can pay 2, dull it, and put it in the break zone, and it essentially repeats its on-entry effect. You'll draw 2 cards, and then you'll put 1 onto the bottom. Interesting. I mean, he has Ash in hand. Obviously, you don't want to put that out without any forwards for it to target. Does he have another backup to replace it? Just puts out a Blue Worm. Is going to draw 1 deeper into the deck. That is 2 Kuchulain the Impure already into the discard pile. Having less backups does make our Ash weaker. But I guess he really wanted to dig for, I don't know, maybe some more action. We get rid of the Ash. We play the Realm. Okay, so Realm's going to... We're going to turn the Blue Worm into a forward. So Realm can bounce it back. Or she might even be able to just bounce characters. Or monsters. Maybe it says forward or monster. Either way, so when she bounces the forward or monster back to her hand, creates a crystal. She might even draw off of it. Let me pull up exactly what that Realm says. Let's see... Crystal Realm says, when Realm enters the field, choose 1 forward or monster you control. You may return it to its owner's hand when you do gain a crystal. Then she has 2 action abilities. You can spend a crystal, dull her, search for a monster of 2 or less played onto the field, or pay 2 crystals, dull her, search for a monster of 5 or less played onto the field. Patrick puts down Kolka. Kolka, we can give up a card in hand, and based on it's either its cost or its attack power. I think it might be attack power. We can shoot a forward for essentially that much damage. So by giving up Chaos, deal 8,000 to the Realm. 2 more, and there's Montleonis. Montleonis going to revive Une. Unless we have a response, we have to target Yagrosh on the backup line. And Leo, of course, will fall into the oblivion of the Limit Break zone. Now Patrick in a pretty good spot. He's on his full 5 backups. Eddie is no longer on a full 5. He's only on 3. This Une's threatening to start getting insane summon value. Yeah, Grosh is nice, but you really need something to get this Une off the field. I was just thinking, Lena Leviathan. We have Una down now, too, which will make all of our summons cheaper. Does Patrick actually have any summons he can recur right now? It might... I think that 3rd card in his break zone might be a summon. Maybe that's a Kusith or an Arc. We're going to put out Echidna, get back a summon. Kuchulain does not stack favorably with the Une. But I guess it'll be nice against potentially some other cards. Yeah, I kind of wish we'd held on to that Ash from earlier. The Ash would just shrink this Une and be like, all right, goodbye, you're done. Mist Dragon is a great draw for Patrick here. He can cast it to remove the break zone, shutting off that potential Lord of Levin play, or Lord of the Whirl play. Levin is Ramu. And then we can just keep getting back the Mist Dragon, recycling it with the Une. Now, we do have to be a little mindful that we can sacrifice a summon on Eddie's side, discard 1 to turn this Echidna into a forward. Yep, looks like there goes the break zone. Odo is not what we want here. Ingus is a really good, easy follow-up. Essentially the other version of Ash, 1 cost, 9k power, gets 1 cheaper for every Earth backup you control, and searches out any Earth forward of our choice. We'll go ahead and get 4-color Warrior of Light, which once we drop our Leo, I'm assuming that's in the deck, will be color fixed on the backups, and Warrior of Light can come down. Kind of, well, I guess he doesn't want to go in with the Mont Leonis because of the Echidna, and obviously you want to leave the Une up for the summon recursion. We also have a Titan in hand, so Patrick's going to be in a pretty solid spot right now. Eddie needs some way to get these forwards off the board without committing forwards himself. Ideally. No, we're going to go in for the Leo. Draw a card. Can we get any kind of action? Man, an Ash here would be great. There goes Tros and Mog. Mog will draw us 1 deeper. I mean, we're digging deep, but we're just not finding any removal. I wonder if we have Glaciella in here. Just something to stop this Une from starting its shenanigans. Because if this Une is allowed to just get back a summon every turn, we're gonna be in trouble. Not much point in animating the Echidna and sending that in. Yeah, I really wish Eddie hadn't gotten rid of that Ash from earlier. That's just such a valuable piece of spot removal. Really good combo with something like the Realm, too, that then you can bounce it back and reuse it over and over again. He's got a Lena in hand. That's not going to do anything. Did we just discard for hand size? Or... He just pitched the Sarah, so we're either trying to go to end of turn, discard for hand size? I guess that's what we did. Oof. That is not ideal. I mean, we have a big 6-cost Leviathan. That doesn't, like, well, what are you going to do? Bounce Une? Yeah, it stops her shenanigans for a moment, but that doesn't feel amazing. Do we have Leo Warrior of Light? Yep, you bet we do. It means Warrior of Light's coming out for free. Reactivate all of our backups, draw a card, replace ourselves. And unlike the Leo on Eddie's board, this Leo is gigantic as he's getting 1,000 extra power for every other character on the board besides himself. Here goes Warrior of Light. I almost feel like you gotta just block one of these because surely he's gonna ping you. No, just takes the damage. I mean, you can send in Ingus. Obviously, Leo just came down. Opts to send in Mont Leonis. Okay. So Eddie could try to block with the Echidna. Nope, doesn't even try. There is a Glaciella. But no help to us sitting over there in the damage zone. I say he could have tried to animate Echidna to block with it. He essentially would have traded if Patrick used the Warrior of Light ping on the stack. But it would have gotten the Mont Leonis off the field. Not that you really care about that, since Mont Leonis has already done his job anyway. I mean, Patrick still has 6 cards in hand. He can get back a summon with Une. Titan. It's kind of funny you chose Mog. You can just sack the Mog in response to turn off searches. I mean, essentially the same thing's accomplished. You do get him off the field. And that's it. And now the Titan's ready in our break zones for Une to get back for us. Can we get an Ash? Can we get some kind of removal? Looks like we did get Glaciella. So Glaciella is going to attempt to make a crystal. We do at least have 1 in reserve. So Une, yeah, is going to attempt to get back Titan. You're going to need to blow this on the stack. Because I'm assuming that Glaciella is not long for this world. So yeah, we're saying we haven't gotten the crystal yet. I mean, I guess you could always just do it in response to the Titan. But either way, I don't think Glaciella is going to live past this turn. Yep, looks like we're spending it right now. Picture card from hand. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times 2, 16,000 damage at a target of our choice. Looks like we're going to pick the 4-color Warrior of Light, which is Man, I mean, you got to get that card off the field, right? At the same time, part of me almost says maybe you need to do the Une as it's just getting recurred value over and over and over again. So now we do have the Titan. Looks like we did let the Crystal resolve. Patrick could have snapped off the Titan before Glaciella got that second Crystal. I'm a little surprised he didn't do that. It's not like he needs the resources. He's got, yeah, Claris he can just use in hand. We're going to animate the Echidna. So when Echidna animates, when it attacks or blocks, you get to draw a card. Granted, it's not going to be much match for something like this Ingus here, or even this Leo is huge. Okay, so now we are just going to Titan, presumably before it can attack. That way we're blocking off the card draw. And yep, there goes Echidna. So unfortunately, Sack gave up a summon for it for nothing. But you have to get that Titan out of your hand. I mean, you have to kill this Une before you pass the turn, right? You cannot let Patrick just keep recurring these summons. And ideally, if you could get even more crystals, that would be very nice. Yep, Glaciella's powering up the Surefire Burst. Just Une blown into oblivion. Still not tapping those backups for it. Decided to get rid of a card in hand, so that makes me think Eddie has some planned use for those backups. Maybe a Lena special, maybe a Cuchulainn or some cheap summon he wants to cast off of them. That way he doesn't have to give up a card, throw himself off curve. We got rid of the wall. We got rid of the Une. This looks a lot more manageable for Eddie. Until Patrick says, hey, mind if I just get that right back? Yeah, thank you. We can, of course, pay for the water with the Leo, and we're going to pay the reduced cost by removing 2 earth or water summons from our break zone. Une can come down for 2 cheaper. And now we're presumably going to bounce Glaciella and Yagrosh. Ah, there we go. So we tap our 2 backups, use the old Levi Tarasu, and say, well, let's go ahead and cancel that effect. We do have an Arc in hand on Patrick's side. Granted, it's against mono water. So if Chaos ever comes down, Chaos is going to be very expensive. Ingus hits a Lord of the Whirl into damage. Great hit for Patrick. Eddie did not want to see that one go that way. He would have much rather summoned the Primal Beast from his break zone next turn. Leo is huge. Leo is what? 5 backups plus 3 other forwards. That's 8k, so he's a 9k. Lena, there's a bonus burst. Will let us draw a single card. We also have a Lena on our own backup line, so if we can never attack our opponent and they use a burst, we'll get to draw as well. Eddie would love a Lord of the Whirl here. Or more crystals. Like Glaciella is such good spot removal here. We can get rid of that Une, but we have to have crystals to keep fueling her ability. And currently, we do not have any. I see a Tros in hand. That's not really going to help. It's just going to sit there for a turn before it could potentially animate an attack. We do put it out. So now if we do trigger any kind of bounce, we can draw off of it. Which, I mean, you have like the 6 cost Leviathan in hand. You could do, that's very expensive though. But I guess if you absolutely have to do it to survive. There's a part of me that wonders, do you just bounce the Une now then? Again, you do not want this Une to start recurring summons. Granted, Patrick did remove 2 for summoning it to the field, so I'm not sure what he's got in there currently. I think maybe I see a Mist Dragon. Could always access Leo for a little limit break help, which we may have to do. We're not in Tidus range, unfortunately. Well, actually, if you activated Tros, you can Tidus. Yep, and that's what we're going to do. You have to hope nothing dies on the stack here, because you are at exactly 8 backups, 8 forwards. But we're going to try it. Does Patrick... I don't think Patrick actually has a response. He has the Arc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he can't cast it even if he wanted to. And Une just came out. Looks like this Tidus is going to resolve. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, this is a good way to deal with it. So we're going to send something packing, likely a Miner. Maybe you could argue, I mean, all of them kind of have entry effects. So yeah, we're going to send a Miner to the top of the deck. Presumably, we're putting Une on the bottom. Yeah, we absolutely have to get rid of that card. And we get to draw 2. Oh, and we drew into Ash. Oh, my goodness, what a draw. You get rid of Leo, right? Because Leo... No, we get rid of Montleonis. Interesting. I kind of like the Leo just because it shuts off any potential colors if he were to draw a 4-color Warrior of Light. Montleonis does have effect, I believe, that when it dies, it prevents the next point of damage. We had nothing that could attack anyway. Nice. What a turnaround turn from Eddie. So Patrick did draw into Chaos. And he has Arc in hand. However, this is going to be an expensive Chaos. This is going to cost us 9. So you're essentially paying the price of the Arc. But it will get rid of anything and rip those last cards out of Eddie's hand. And then you also get to steal one of his forwards. That's not bad. Tros is a pretty decent equalizer in that too, though, as you can just bounce back the forward that he takes, assuming it's the right cost. I think Tros only bounces 4 or less, 3 or less. Let me pull up Tros. I don't think he can just indiscriminately bounce. Tros, until the end of the turn, 7k forward, choose a forward of 4 or less, return it to its owner's hand. We're going to go in with Ingus. Could block, opt to take the damage. Oh, no. Oh, a second Lord of the Whirl. I mean, he doesn't sound like a whale, but if he did, that Leviathan is just looking at Eddie like, ooh. He's so sad over there in the damage zone. Oh, man, that's got to feel bad. That's your trump card. Patrick, of course, is very happy with that hit. Yeah, we're going in on the Chaos. So here's Chaos. We have an Arc left in hand. You probably... I mean, Glaciella is the repeated value. So even though he doesn't currently have a crystal, it probably makes the most sense to take her out. No, opts to take out the Ash. And Levi Tarasu on the Chaos. Nice. Okay, good use of that. We were going to have to discard a card anyway. So the Ash will die. Oh, man. Eddie holding on here. Did he draw anything useful, though? God, he wanted that Lord of the Whirl so bad. Leviathan would clean up here. I think he might have just drawn backups. Maybe a summon. He doesn't have much action on his backup line other than... So we can bounce the Leo. Now the Chaos can block this. We're going to draw a card. Yeah, so we turned into a 7k forward. Chaos can block this if we desire, which will kill the Tros. Yep, we do have to make that trade. Can we punish the Chaos for this block, or is he going to get away with it? Otherwise, this is really easy for Patrick. Very free move. Oh, nice. Okay, so we are going to revive with Lena. Are we going to do... You could do... What would you do? Realm? Mog? Mog to draw. Interesting. Okay. Which we drew into a blue worm. Gonna send in Tidus. Hits a Kryl into damage. Blue worm obviously is a straight draw. Eddie, I think, is just digging for an answer. He got a lightning, but we have too many forwards on board at this point. Yeah, so unfortunately we couldn't punish off the Tros into the Chaos. We do have Shadow Lord, but I'm pretty sure everything on the board is a different job, so that's ultimately only going to break one thing. Our biggest blocker at the moment is a 7k Glaciella, but we can also animate the blue worm, so we shouldn't die this turn. Put down Iridia back up. I think this searches out a summon and adds it to our hand. Oh, we're just going to go get Arc. Uh-oh. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. I'm going to pull up that Iridia really quick just to make sure she says any summon, and it's not Earth summon, but I think she just says any summon. Been a minute since I've seen it. Iridia. When Iridia enters the field, search for one summon, add it to your hand. Yep. Arc is going to be quite brutal here. So, Arc, you remove the Glaciella. I mean, he can still block with the blue worm, so again, you're not quite dead this turn, but... Man, that Lena special we used, was there really nothing better to get than the Mog? That feels so bad. I thought maybe we could do, like, Realm to bounce to make a crystal or something. Tidus will die. We will have to discard 2 cards. We do give up some backups we weren't using anyway. And a Levi Tarasu. Eddie just hoping. If there's a third Lord of the World on this list, we're hoping it's still somewhere in the deck and not removed from the game or... Here's Leo. And we just pass. I'm kind of surprised he didn't put on any attack pressure. Like, both your forwards are bigger. He would have had to start losing forwards and go to 6 damage. I guess he just didn't feel the need to. It's not like he's in any risk of getting a counter hit. So Mog sacrifices itself. Oh no, are we playing another Mog? Oh, nice. We did it for the Lightning. Yeah, so now Lightning enters the field, choose a forward. As long as your opponent controls more forwards than you do, you're moved from the game. So we do get rid of the chaos that way. That's nice. That's a little cute interaction. Mog happily taking one for the team just to give his owner a chance. That's all we got, so not a whole lot else off of that, but at least we turned off a potential arc off the top. We do have a Mist Dragon. Are we going to just try to exile this break zone early, make sure that Lena play doesn't come into... Yep, looks like it. There will be no free Lord of the World play this game. Drawn to a Tyro. You could drop Shadow Lord if you're on Patrick's side. Just, I mean, it feels a little over expensive just to break one thing. How big is Leo? Leo has 5 backups plus 1 forward. Leo's a 7k, so he would trade with any of these forwards. And see, if we'd swung last turn, Eddie would at least be down a Glaciella or a Blue Worm, and Patrick would have still had the same board. And then our opponent would be on 6, and they'd be forced to block all of these attacks. Giving up Shantoto. Oh, we're bringing out Matt. Oh, no, we're bringing out Cloud. That's right. We have Lightning CP. So Cloud is going to break probably Glaciella. You could choose Lightning, but you probably don't want to risk a schematic change. Goodbye, Glaciella. Yeah, and see, with that now, too, he would have had... He basically would have... Oh, we do schematic change. Okay. He's still not attacking. Interesting. We get rid of the Leo. Yeah. I wonder why Patrick's not attacking. Like, is he worried about a burst? Again, he's only on 2 damage, so he doesn't really have to worry about the crackback. Here's Glaciella Part 2. We're going to get ourselves a crystal. This is at least 1 guaranteed bit of spot removal. Now, the one thing Eddie has to be careful of, too, is that he's drawn a lot of cards, so surely that deck is getting pretty thin over there. Yeah, I mean, look how big that RFG pile is that Pat's going through right now. So Eddie needs to find a way to push through this board and win at some point, because surely he's going to deck out before Patrick. We going to spend it? Yep. Spend the crystal. Go ahead and get rid of Ingus. I mean, we still don't have any bodies big enough to get over this Cloud. You got a Toto. You can Garnet. Cabranth, which is fine. You could just fire off the Shadow Lord at this point. Just get rid of one of these forwards, which is what we're going to do. All right. Who are we getting rid of? Lightning or Glaciella? Choose Lightning. Do we have another schemata change? We do not. And now we do send the Cloud in finally. Eddie, is he going to take that? I almost feel like he has to take this point of damage. It's a Yagrosh. That's no help to us. That deck's looking awful low over there. We draw anything useful? God, I think he's only got 3 cards left. And he still has to hit his opponent for 5 points of damage. So I don't know how will we possibly win this. Yep. So Shadow Lord just chump blocks 2 of them. Eddie perhaps realizing, yeah, I don't have a choice. I have to push for something. I mean, I don't see how Mono Water can win this with 3 cards left in deck. The Lightning, unfortunately, does nothing because our opponent chose to block. And now Realm, bounce the Lightning to hand. Make a Crystal. Do we have Glaciella? Lightning again, yeah, still no trigger. I mean, he's trying to play out his hand. We have Chaos. You could probably just overpay for it at this point. You can also just go search out Une's. You just need to remove 2 things here, right? And then you just have an easy win. You know Eddie has nothing in hand. Une can bounce one of these forwards out of the way. Granted, again, even it's not like he even has to attack here. Because Eddie's only got 3 cards left, so there's just no way for him to come back and win this. There's the Une. Bounce Realm, bounce, Yagrosh. Lightning's going to be forced to block the Cloud. And I don't know what you could possibly draw to get out of this. But if you can, Heart of the Cards, you need it now. You drew Ash. That's nice. Ash is good spot removal. And looks like a Miwa and a Realm. I mean, yeah, you can technically stabilize not dying to damage, but you are going to lose to running out of cards in the deck. There's a Titan. Nice. That's a good draw, too. Titan just cleans the Ash up. You can put in the Miwa to bump its power. Yeah, and just as that, that nice little, like, do we fist bump? Do we handshake here? What are we doing? Okay. Eddie made some really good attempts to stabilize throughout that game, but it wasn't enough. He could never really get over that hump. He needed a Leviathan really bad. Patrick had some great hits into damager. Congrats to Patrick. That should have been a win and in. So unless I was given wrong information, Patrick should now be in the top cut.